Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Global Sassitude. And this is Pauline Teo. I'm a financial wellness coach.
I'm Lisa Keeble. I help women recreate and rise beyond a midlife divorce.
Hi everyone, my name is Shirley and I am a beauty business coach.
And for those who have been supporting us for the past few months, thank you very much for your support. And if you like our content, always remember to continue to like, share, or subscribe. And today we're going to touch on a really fascinating topic because as we, the three of us, Shirley, Lisa, and me, started early this year in 2025, and we got to know one another through a program which we have attended, and we find that there are so much commonalities among us. And after that, we decided to maybe start something to empower more women because we have all this knowledge in terms of business, entrepreneurship, being a mother, in relationship, and many, many more. So we are here right now, coming into the fourth quarter of the year. Oh my God. Yeah, the year is coming to the end. We are now approaching the last quarter of the year. So all the festivities are coming up. The next question to us is this: as entrepreneurs, is this going to be our peak season or our lull season? Different businesses, we will see things very differently. In the past, when I was a public servant, I love the year end because this is where the kids has got their school holidays. Yes, as mothers, we tend to be a little bit stressed out because the kids are away from school. That's for me. So which means I need to take some time off work. But that is also the time for me to rest and focus on kids rather than at work. And also people are more relaxed because we are starting to have the celebrations of the Christmas parties, New Year parties, and also writing our New Year resolution. People tend to be more relaxed when I was working in the public service. So it's kind of like a lull for us. I really love it because normally I have like a 2 weeks off break to be with my kids and go on a holiday. But I think not for some businesses, especially we know Shirley is in the beauty line. So maybe Shirley, you want to let us know during this quarter, how is your quarter like for your business from all the way in this season? Share with us.
So we are definitely going into what we call silly season. The reason why we call it silly season is because everything is just at 100% accelerated rate. Everything is just chaos. One of the biggest inclines that you normally see in the beauty industry is this year. Some people, they want to upskill and they want to, go for training and they want to be ready for December so that they can accommodate their clients because they're so quiet over the winter period, especially for beauty. It sort of dies down. And then when the sun comes out and when it's really, really hot and when it's nice weather and people start booking in, I think the beauty therapists also think, hey, I've got new enthusiasm, so I can do this. So we see an incline of education, of people wanting to upskill, want to come to the training, but then also with clients booking in for the sessions, wanting to look beautiful. So they start their Botox, they maybe go for lip fillers, go for nails, toes. We actually start preparing them for this December season because we tell them that you need to start booking in now for December also. We need to start getting your nails right and your toenails right and your eyebrows fixed and whatever. And you need to start tanning. So there's just so much happening normally in this time with the beauty. It's quite hectic. And that's why we call it the silly season.
I didn't know women getting beautiful can become silly because I'm one of the silly person. Yes, going to get. So normally during a vain woman who loves beauty. So the year end is where I will start to do my hair, and now I'm thinking what kind of new hairstyle. So probably at the later part of the year, the next few sessions, you will see me having a new hairstyle, probably. And for my 2026 new look, and also probably writing down some New Year resolutions, thinking back, reflecting back, and also, yes, getting some of the jobs done. Okay, I've got a few things scheduled, like my dental appointment. So year end is where I start to do all this stuff. And yes, some people might say that I start to go for facial to look good for 2026 and maybe a little job like Botox. Okay, I don't do Botox, but I don't know about the rest. So how about you, Lisa? Maybe you want to share with us for our audience who's time over here, maybe they didn't know what you are really into, and a little bit of that introduction, and then after share with us, is it going to be a peak or the lull in the last quarter of this year?
So I help women recreate and rise beyond a midlife divorce. But I've actually pivoted on what I'm doing with my business. So I've really pared back on what I'm doing so I can actually jump into a huge 2026. So on top of offering programs that I'll be giving to women, I'm also setting up to have a full ecosystem of products for them, say from travel for single women, financial, insurance, even people property buying for them, people helping them, home styling. So I've sort of, from my own perspective with business, I don't have silly season at the moment with clients, but I have created a silly season with myself. So I'm pushing in the end. I've actually started a Recreate and Rise podcast as well. I'll have to get you ladies on my podcast. I've just got a lot of promotion and marketing and my programs. I'm pushing very hard creating my own silly season to see the year out. But from a client perspective, like I've got, after we finish here, I'll jump in on with one of my clients from the US. And from her perspective, it's keeping the clients this time of the year. It can be a hard time for them. So the clients that I do have, it's about just keeping on top of them with their positivity going into the holiday season, which can be difficult after a divorce. So if I can add on to Shirley's comment, so next week I've got my hair appointment booked in, I've got my nail appointment booked in, and I've also got a facial booked in because I'm going away next weekend. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can relate to that, Shirley.
So we are talking about the last quarter of this season. And I'm here to listen to about entrepreneurship. And I thought today the topic is about power partnerships to activate your network for your Q4 success. Precisely, that's the point. Because we are looking at our businesses, you can see of different areas. Some are in the peak, some are in the lull season. So make use of that. And the key thing to the success of businesses would be how to leverage your strategic alliances to amplify your impact in terms of your revenue and reach the final quarter of the year in terms of that revenue generation. This is the quarter to make your most money, I would say. People are ready to spend more. They are getting their bonuses. They are having that relaxed mode. So the first question that I would like to ask Shirley in terms of this topic about networking today, how can entrepreneurs then shift from having just like a network to activating them? Maybe you want to share with us what kind of networking do you do? And right now, what can we do to really activate it?
Pauline, this is actually such an interesting question, and what I'm actually currently busy with is I've never even imagined in my entire life that I would enjoy it so much. Which started off as just, okay, I want to arrange a big event for nail technicians to come together, a boot camp. It has now turned into like a global thing. So I don't know how that has happened, but it has. So we started off in New Zealand, wanting to do one for Auckland, and then so many people jumped on. Are you doing one for New Zealand? Oh, for Australia? And I was like, okay. So for now, I'm only focusing on two. So I'm focusing on one in Brisbane and one in Auckland because I wanted to do another one in Sydney because, believe it or not, there's so many nail technicians that wants to actually have us there also. But I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. So because I'm so new to this and, arranging this type of big event, getting the international educator to come in, but what I have learned with this, it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't create the networking and the collaborations that I did. So before I started advertising, I immediately reached out to a couple of nail technicians who already has a really good following, who is already like a good go-to person in the industry that people really know. And I said to them, this is the event that I'm arranging. Would you like to jump on board? And they were like, I'm in. And they started advertising for me. And that's how we got so many people to actually jump on. So it's going to be a big group for both events. And that's the power of actually networking and collaborating. We are almost fully booked for the Auckland bootcamp. And that's purely organic marketing. Nothing paid so far.
It really gives us an idea right now how you actually activate it. Because just like us, initially Shirley, Lisa, and me, we started off also in a boot camp.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were attending a program together. We were there for 3 days. We talked to one another and we get to know one another better. Initially started off as a form of a networking. And as we have tea after the class, we started to become friends. And as we start to work together, we become better friends. And right now, Shirley is looking at the same thing. Running a program, organizing a program is one of the best ways to really activate your networks. And this is how you can start to have your strategic alliances to come in together. Now, each and every one of her nail technicians has got followings. Does she need to do any form of a marketing? No. And just like that, with a start of a small network, you could create a bigger network. So this brings to the point for me to ask Lisa, what is your top strategy for now re-engaging with strategic partners? I believe you would have some strategic partners whom you are working with because you mentioned you are doing quite a bit of a podcast and also now you are going into other areas in terms of helping and empowering women. So share with us a little bit more. What is your top strategy for re-engaging these strategic partners to create such opportunities?
I don't know if it's about re-engaging or whether it's engaging with strategic partners, but I'm finding with me just starting new in my business, my strategy is get out of your comfort zone, Lisa, and just do it. I'm part of the mentoring program and I recently went to Melbourne and they had a deal dome, and that deal dome we could actually pitch for partnerships or equity in your business or equity in your ideas. And my coach said, Lisa, you have to go and do this. So I'm like totally out of my comfort zone. I got out and I pitched. And from there, I've got about 8 successful partnerships with businesses. Very excited with that. And then on the weekend, on top of getting like out of your comfort zone, grab opportunities as they arise. Where Shirley's taken her opportunity with people with big networks. On the weekend, I partnered with this place called Dalton House, had a big event on called the Breast Agenda, and that was for Sydney Cancer Council, put that on. And I saw an opportunity that it was coming up. I did miss the closing date, but I jumped online and said, look, this is what I do for women, where there's parallels between women reinventing beyond, like say, cancer, and I'm all about women. So I jumped on, and on the weekend, I was in an event, Recreate Rise, with 500 women, fabulous networking event and great exposure for Recreate and Rise. And I just went around the tables in between breaks and introduced myself. And from there, I've got 2 businesses that are wanting me to go and do talks for them. So, yeah,
Wow.
so that was
Congratulations.
so take opportunities and like don't let them pass by and get out of your comfort zone.
And that is the really key thing. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. One of the other ladies asked me the other day and she said, Shirley, so do you have a budget for this? And I said, I didn't start with a budget. I don't have a budget. So we're going to just see what's going to happen. And she said, but what happens? Just saying, what happens if you don't make the money? I said, it will come. I don't stress about it. I go and get it. So I don't think, how is this not going to work? I think, how can I make this work? So it's just a mindset.
I think this is something that I learned from Shirley, and that's the attitude for her being such a successful entrepreneur is never think about how it's not going to work. Always think how it's going to work instead. So I think the best thing for us in terms of entrepreneurship is always think how is this going to work. So if you're thinking what you need to do for 2026, first of all, for those who are fighting for your year-end sales, yes, networking is really important, but a part of networking is strategic alliances. And this gives me the other part of how can entrepreneurs then lay the groundwork? Let's say I've not started anything yet. Can I do it right now? Is it still in time? The answer is definitely a yes. So if we want to start and we want to create the alliance, maybe you won't be able to have that revenue to kick in 2025. But how about 2026? This is an ongoing effort. So for Shirley, because she's such a good and great partner and networker, so let me ask her this question of entrepreneurs who want to leverage on their alliance and they want to lay the groundwork for success. So what should they do right now? What is then the thing that they could do for 2026 to start to lay the groundwork?
Thanks for that question, Puli. It's always going to come back to mindset. because you need to believe that whatever that feeling that you've got inside of you, you need to bring it out and you need to put it into action. Because if you haven't started anything yet and you are afraid that it might not work, what if it works? Think of it differently. And there's so many people who is already doing what you want to do. Reach out to those people. You might phone the right person on the right time at the right hour, and they might need you. So it's all about not trying to do it on your own. There's so many people out there who is already doing it and who's already a success. I always say, and I say this to all my beauty people, I say 5 years from now, you're going to definitely be older. But are you still going to be doing the same thing, stuck in the same ways, not where you want to be? Or are you going to be 5 years ahead and you never even imagined where you will actually be? So reach out to people who's already successful. Reach out to those people. How are you doing it? Ask questions. And you will get rude and who just keep to themselves. Move on. Take everything that you did this year and put it into action to make something happen for next year. Use people. As Sam Cawthorn says, people follows people. People also use people. She got a book. Because we have to use each other. I would say that is a dirty little secret. We shouldn't even make it ugly. Leverage other people's people. One of the things that I did last year was I sold my one nail brand, Nails Factor Supplies. She literally bought all my following. She bought my products. She bought my clients, but she's building on top of that. And that is just so amazing to see, and just continue with it. We don't always have to start from the bottom.
Thank you, Shirley. This is really great as we are preparing for 2026. I think some of you are wondering, what can I do to start it right in 2026 to lay the groundwork for my networking? So Lisa, is there something that you want to advise or give some suggestions to our audience over here? What are the things they can do right now?
What Shirley said was, using people in their networks, and it's not using. But what I'm going to do, just starting really to kick off my business from June, I've got a lot of business connections and networks, but now I'm actually going to go and start looking into different women's groups and networking more with women where my clients will be. So have your business connections that are going to help you through business, but then also have your connections where your clients are. So I'm going to start going there. And also Toastmasters, we met through Speakers Institute Bootcamp, but I'm going to start going to Toastmasters and the local Chamber of Commerce, which again, that's where a lot of business connections are. So that is how I'm going to try and elevate my exposure of Recreate and Rise through those type of networks. But from like tonight, I've got a networking dinner, and that's with the business networks. I just want to go back to Shirley with when she said about like using them. It's funny that you say that, because like in the business, I know you don't mean that in that regard, but in the business mentoring program that I'm in, everyone's just reaching out and grabbing off each other. And then I've had so many people say to me, "Oh, Lisa, I can see this idea for you." Again, it's also who you're hanging around. Make sure that you're like with your networks and the people that you're hanging around, they're pushing you ahead in business so you can jump in and start it in 2026. So don't be sort of liaising with people that bring you down, bring people that push you up.
And so this is what Lisa is doing, attending her Toastmasters and some other events to start the networking. And now I want to address to a group of people who are called the introverts. Because you would say that, what if I'm an introvert? I don't like networking session. Okay, I'm one of them. I have to be honestly saying I don't really like networking sessions because I don't tend to talk a lot. I am mainly like, I can be an extrovert if I need to, but I'm more like an introvert. I prefer to be by myself. Extrovert is someone who actually get energy from talking to people. I'm the other way. I get energy when I'm with myself. In fact, I use a lot of energy when I start to talk to a lot of people. It will drain me out. So if you belong to introverts, that's no fault of yours. So we are just born differently. So how can we still continue to network being introverts ourselves? I think what we could do is really sort of make friends. I think introverts always still can talk to people and make sure that there's certain objectives when we are doing this kind of networking sessions. So get to learn from them. How about making it like a learning session? This is what I always do. When I get tired, like talking to people, I always say, you know what? I can always learn something from someone. So treat it like a learning session. If you find that networking is really tiring for you to get to know people, but for all you know, it's going to be start of a great year in 2026 to give you great alliances for your business. So thank you very much for watching us for this Global Sassitude, and I hope you have enjoyed as much as we do. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.